Next, we're going to look at the selection menu a little more in depth, and we're also going to look at how to make a couple of selections a little bit easier using color and focal point. So the first thing you're going to do is go to Bridge, so File, Browse in Bridge, and I would like for you to open the Glasses JPEG image. So go ahead and double click on that, get it opened. And we're going to select all this white space. Now, because this is such a simple image, we could just go ahead and use the magic wand tool and click within each of the white areas, and it's easily selected. Command D to deselect. However, the first thing I would like for you to do is duplicate your background layer. So Command J. So go to Select, Color Range, and Invert is one of the presets that is automatically checked. Uncheck Invert, and you'll see that I've got Quick Mask selected down here in the drop down under Selection Preview. You can also select White Matte, Black Matte, or Grayscale, or none, which just shows your image. I'm going to go back and select Quick Mask. And I'm going to use sampled colors. That means that whatever I use the eyedropper on, that's what's going to be selected. And you might want to select your fuzziness at around 40. That's the sharpness of your detailed selection here. So uncheck Invert if it's selected. Make sure selection is selected under your image. Have Quick Mask selected, set your fuzziness at 40, sampled colors, and click on the white part of your image. And you'll see that your eyeglasses turn red. Alright? Now, I am going to select Invert. And so now you start seeing a little bit more of some areas down here. When I clicked in this area closest to my rims of my glasses, you saw different areas being selected. So to add to my selection, I hold down, same as any other thing, the Shift key, and so I can go in and clean up the selection. Be careful though, you get too close and you might get more than what you wanted selected. I don't want my highlights to be selected here on my rims, and so I'm going to select minus and click on that highlight area along the bottom of my glasses. And then up here you can see where it selected part of that highlight along the top of the glasses here as well, so I'm going to want to deselect that. So when you have a selection that frames out the eyeglass frames, go ahead and click OK, and you'll see your marching ants surround your frames. Go ahead and make a layer mask. Come down, select the background layer. Okay, and then you're going to do Command Shift N. Name this pattern. Select OK. Now, this is a black and white image. If you go up here to Image and Mode, you'll see that it's a grayscale image. You can leave it that way, that's no problem. And so all that really means is that what we're about to do, it's going to be a grayscale pattern that we're going to apply. Alright, once you've got your pattern layer named, double click on it because we're going to add a pattern layer style. Go ahead and select Pattern Overlay. Make sure the check mark is there. Click on the words Pattern Overlay, and I want you to go in and select Nature Patterns. Click OK to replace whatever pattern you have selected with Nature Patterns. And then I'm going to have you select the one to the right, the second pattern. go ahead and set your opacity at 100%. Scale your pattern to about 200%. And you can type that in and click OK. Selected, click on the background and your pattern appears. Now go to your eyeglass layer, rename it Frames, hit enter, and now you're going to go File, Save As. This is 4C, so you're going to be 4C, your last name, underscore the glasses. Again, make sure it's PSD, make sure it's in your Chapter 4 folder, and click Save. Go ahead and close that one, and go ahead and go back to Bridge, File, Browse in Bridge, and select the Ferris wheel. So ferris.jpg. Now go to Select Color Range and select the blue color all throughout the Ferris wheel. You're going to have to select in all these different areas. With mask on, you can see where it's selected when I clicked in that one blue area. Now I can click up here for this different shade of blue, and it's doing a different one each time because I'm not holding my Shift key down. So if I want to continue to add to my selection, I hold the Shift key and click. And again, you're selecting the blue area of the sky throughout this entire image. And so you're going to have to zoom in to see if there's any small areas that you may miss. Again, hold down your Shift key to make any adjustments as necessary. Zooming around, holding my space bar to move around my image. Make sure I haven't missed. This right here all appears blue, but that's the color that they've got on this actual Ferris wheel. So everything there looks pretty good. Again, I'm just quickly moving through my image right here. You'll notice there's a lot of little blue spots showing up. I'm going to hold down my Shift key, start clicking on some of these little blue areas. It's very subtle, but I don't want these to show up later as a part of my selection, and so I'm going to make sure that I take care of that right here. And you can see over here in the color range panel where that selection is being made, and it looks pretty good. I'm just going to go over some of these areas here on the Ferris wheel. Make sure it doesn't have anything selected that I don't want selected. When you have so much reflection happening in similar colors on something light like this, it can be tricky. And so this is actually part of the Ferris wheel, and I'm removing all of it, but what happens because of the color cast is it removes all of those, it removes all of the sampled matching colors, and that is not what we want. So I'm going to undo that and then just add it back in using my Shift key. Alright, that looks pretty good. When you're happy with your selection and have most of the Ferris wheel covered, you feel. And again, you can tell by looking over here to the left, and I can see I've got too many blue areas showing up in some of these. So it looks kind of faint over here. You can see right here, you see this area in the color range panel. Holding my shift key down, just clicking over there takes care of that issue. Alright. Everything in pink or red is now a part of that selection. So, go through here. And I can now invert the selection because I was selecting the blue, that was selecting the sky, and I would prefer to select the Ferris wheel, so I'm going to select invert. Fuzziness is just the sharpness of the selection. You can see how it gets sharper and blurs over depending on whether or not I pull to the left or the right. So I'm going to set my fuzziness at about 75 and select OK. And now we didn't make a copy of our background layer before we did this selection. So what I'm going to do now is I am just going to create a new layer from this selection. So I'm going to hit Command or Control J, turn the background layer off, select the background layer, Command Shift N for a new layer. We're going to name this one Fill, select OK, and select whatever color as long as it's not the same blue that you just removed. I would recommend maybe like a green, something that is easy to tell that the change was made. I'm going to select OK, use my fill bucket, and fill that in, zoom out. And there's an example of a little bit trickier background to select. Name your Ferris wheel layer Ferris. Then do File, Save As. Now all we have to do is rename it. So we're going to go File, Save As, name this 4D, your last name, underscore Ferris. Make sure it's in the correct folder. Select Save. And now you're ready to move on. And that concludes how to make selections based on color. Now it can be much trickier based on the exact image. Again, it's about using the right technique or tool based on your image and what exactly it is you're trying to do.